Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's event. This event is iNGO iSharing, hosted by Youth Development Administration, Ministry of Education. I'm Angel, your moderator today. I'm currently work in an organization based in Taiwan. Our work is focused on youth development, also as the international exchanging and volunteering. Therefore, I'm excited to navigate today's event and welcome all your guys. So, before we start the event today, I would like to share a video for you to really introduce the forum this year. So let's welcome the video.
"在自己有限的知识里探索更多这世界未知的事物，
sehingga kita tetap bisa bertemu orang secara online dan kita tetap bisa bertukar budaya dan bertukar pemikiran.
For me, I think international forum should be a place where you can have experts, students, or young people come together to discuss a specific subject.
Include an opportunity to learn from experts, speakers who will be able to provide young people with ideas and inspiration on how they can come up with solutions or how they can work together towards a common goal.
Un lieu où chacun a droit à la parole et où tout le monde peut s'exprimer librement, sans tabou ni peur d'être jugé.
Mon pays から得た情報だけでなく他の国々の意見も交えながら考えていくことの大事さを知りました。
Join the forum.
Join the forum.
Join the forum.
Join the forum.
Link up with the world.
So yes, join the forum. What forum? The annual 2022 Global Youth Trend Forum will be held on October 21st. And this event has invited special domestic and foreign guests to discuss about international trends. And this year's theme is Metaverse Era, a new world for youth. The Youth Development Administration has prepared a series of leading events, which is held online by inviting Taiwan Youth Affairs Association, also a partner from international organization, to conduct sharing and have some interesting conversation. So addition to youth organizations sharing their project, also this forum provide information on international events for youth to attend. So we will have some exploration of the issue related to this year's global youth trend. So be excited and be prepared for yourself and to attend this interesting event. Now, before we start, I would like to invite you to do some sharing because this live stream will be very interesting. So we would like to help invite as much as the people and your friend, family to join us. So you can share this live stream link to your social media. And also we have some gifts for you. If you share on your social media, we will have some gifts to win the prize draw event. So there are only two steps to attend this event. The first step is also only leave your comment below of this post and share this live stream on your personal social media account. If you share on Facebook, you can just tag Global Youth Trend Forum fan page. And if you share on Instagram, please add the hashtag Global Youth Trend Forum. You can see this information below their comments on, of the information. And the step 2 is send a private message to the forum's fan page. Also include screenshot of your comment and social media share. After 2 weeks, we will pick 5 lucky winners to win the gift. So make sure you don't miss it, and make sure you prepare everything to join this interesting event today. So, this is all I need to say before we start. Now we are going to move ahead and welcome the guests today. First, I would like to introduce you our domestic organization sharing Mr. Cui Jia Wei, Peter, to here and to say hi to our audience.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm from GovZero community, and I am also a contributor of many civic tech projects in GovZero community. I hear that the gift is the very beautiful backpack, so I'm trying to save it now, but I'm sitting here, so I can do that.
Yeah, so only 5 lucky winners can have it, so make sure you don't miss it. So thank you, Peter. And there's one more guy connect online. So let's welcome Mr. Kaji from Nigeria. So hi, Kaji.
Ni hao. My name is Okoro Onyekachi. From Nigeria. I live in River State, Nigeria. And I've been working with many rural and urban communities for quite a long time. I'm hearing gifts. I answer the questions myself. I like gifts. I look forward to the discussions. I look forward to the sharing of ideas, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much, India.
Thank you, Kaji. And yeah, now we are going to invite Peter to have some introduce of their organization, GovZero community. I think we all know about this community, this organization, by the well-known projects such as voting guides, face masks, map. Maybe you haven't heard about GovZero community, but I'm sure you know about the face mask. So now we are going to give the ground floor Peter, and he will have more introduction of their organization. So let's welcome Peter.
Okay, thanks, Andrew, for briefing, introducing GovZero community. And again, I'm Peter. I'm community engager of GovZero community. And some of the audience may have heard about GovZero from our famous project like the Fast Mask Map or Colfax websites that dealing with the misinformation on social media or line group like that. Or maybe you hear about GovZero from a prominent engager of this community, who is Audrey Tan, now is the Minister of Digital Affairs, like that. But what is GovZero? GovZero is actually a very diversified community. You can just see the PowerPoint slides that our logo is like the zero was crossing by a slash. So you're thinking that maybe this is a group of geeks or a group of people that is not believing in government. But however, actually in our community, we actually covered a lot of government officials, government officers, and people from all other careers, from media press workers, from lawyers, from students from everywhere, from colleges or from senior high school or junior high schools, or from the computer engineering, things like that. So it is actually very diversified, and it is actually full of a very huge amounts of huge numbers of the civic tech projects. So what is GovZero? Sorry, turn to that next page. So GovZero is actually a civic tech community full of open source resources, projects, people, and hackathons. So I'm going to elaborate to you that the very critical 3 elements of GovZero, which is people, project, and hackathon. So people, no community can be produced without people. So we welcome people from everywhere with every professions to join us on maybe like a virtual chatting or discussion groups on Slack in digital platform, or you can join our real events, which happens to be in the reality like that. So people, We like to refer us as nobody, because we when we are talking about some social issues like the problems like generation gap or wealth gap between the poor and the rich, or maybe discrimination or misinformation, the first idea that will come to most people's mind is that why nobody does that? And it actually implies that they think that the effort or the work shouldn't be done by themselves. But GovZero community want to change this mindset. We want to change this mindset to you can be the change. You can be the one that creates the change. So we like to refer as nobody, because nobody does everything, therefore we can do everything. So we encourage people from everywhere, every country, with every professions to join us to start a project from your own. Yes. And second thing of GovZero is project. In Chinese, we means keng, and in the keng, the English translation of keng is hole. Because if you start a project on your own, it actually means just like you're digging a hole on the ground. And if you are participating in a project, it's just like you are filling up the hole on the ground. So every idea can become a project to realize the change you want to be. You don't have to get any permissions from everyone. You can just start a project by doing a note from HackMD platform, or you can create your project on GitHub, which is a community platform for software engineer, or you can just do a lot of things you want and announce it and require some help from the community. And you can also meet others that will be maybe interested to your project in hackathon. Hackathon is the third element that cultivates or creates GovZero community. It actually binds us together because these real events actually help us discuss with each other face-to-face. And this face-to-face bonding is actually stronger than anything, because we can discuss everything. We can even have some quarrels. We can even have a very good atmosphere to collaborate, to do collaboration or do cooperations together. And you can also enjoy food, enjoy drink, enjoy free Wi-Fi, and also unlimited electricities as you're on. So you don't have to worry about anything, but just focus on your project or focus on your contribution to the community. Under this atmosphere, GovZero's community actually creates a lot of projects that dealing with many parts of the society and many fields of the social issues. Like we have the project which we called School 001. That is just like a project. They want to promote the open source spirit. They want to promote this kind of education into the traditional campus. We go to senior high school, we go to university to have a lecture, have a speech, discussion about open source with the students. And the students will be attracted to joining this community and become a contributor or become a participant into our community. We also have co-facts. Misinformation has become a very huge problem in Taiwan and all over the world right now. And co-fact is a website that wants to take the effort from the public, from every citizen, to stop the spreading of misinformation. If you are going to the website, you can register yourself and become a contributor to this website, and you can start to correct this kind of misinformation on your own. And a lot of people will collaborate and cooperate with you. We also have a project called This Factory. This Factory is also taking efforts from the public. We recommend people from everywhere to working on locating the illegal factories that was built on the farming field. And these illegal factories will have some security problems or safety problems to the citizens, to locals. But however, with this factory project, you can report and locate the illegal factories in a very efficient way. We also have vTaiwan. vTaiwan is a platform for everybody to discuss the regulation, discuss the amendment of the laws on a virtual and a more efficient way. We want to collect information and collect opinions from every stakeholders about and regulation so that we can have a more full coverage of everyone's opinion. We also have the projects that dealing with indigenous languages. We also create an online library to help support the indigenous language in Taiwan and indigenous groups in Taiwan. And we also have a project that want to reveal the political donations in Taiwan, like that. So let alone we have the FastMax or some other projects that dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. So what is my perspective as an engager to this community? I feel that there's three things that amaze me and it triggers me a lot, which is flexibility, diversity, and vitality. With flexibility of joining the project, it actually attracts many people to joining the community, and it creates the diversity of the community. And the diversity of the community also creates the vitality of this community. So if you want to experience this kind of vitality of this community, I really recommend you to joining our series of events happen to be in October. So in October 21st, 22nd, 23rd, we have 3 days of carnivore, very big parties and hackathons happen to be together, and you can enjoy and understand GovZero a lot. And finally, if you are really, really interested in GovZero, you can join us on Slack, a digital platform, or you can search us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Thanks a lot. This is the introduction of GovZero Society. I'm Peter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter, for such interesting introduction of GovZero community. And next, we would like to have the co-founder of Media Awareness and Justice Initiative, the formerly known as Media for Justice Project, Kaji, to share how they have provide medium for participant and information communication technology and the capacity training to marginalized group and indigenous community for many years. This team is from Nigeria, and we have briefly have some interesting conversation before the event. We found out there's a lot of different cultural background from Nigeria and different from Taiwan. So I think that will be a very interesting insight Kaji will share with us. So I will just leave the rest of the time to Kaji. So let's welcome Kaji online.
Okay. Good morning in Nigeria. My name is Kachi. I'm very happy to be here. I'm a co-founder of the Media Awareness and Justice Initiative. It's a young-oriented organization that tries to use many forms of technology to be able to empower marginalized groups, groups that are left out. And when I mean marginalized groups, I don't talk about just ethnic groups. I'm talking about women. I'm talking about young people. I'm talking about people living with disability. And as an organization, we tend to focus on these types of persons. Our approach is simple. We try to use participatory and inclusive methods, because if people are not part and parcel of their own development, it becomes very difficult for them to own that process, and it becomes very difficult for them to sustain that process, and in as well, it becomes very difficult for them to expand that process. Hence, we see this as a very strong reason why we intend to use this kind of methodologies. And if you ask me, the question will be, how are we able to touch on the lives of young people, especially when they are in locations where they are difficult to reach, they are in locations where they cannot be able to access key information. And we know that one of the primary tools which we try to reach out to these very many communities are through technology. But then, when we say technology, what type of technology are we bringing? Are they technology that are driven in such a way that are accessible by young people? Are they technology that are driven in such a way that people are able to use them? People are able to engage with them. People are able to use that to advance their own ideas. And like I've said, it's important that Nigerians own their process. It's important that Nigerians are able to share the different types of knowledge that they have, because by sharing the knowledge we have, we develop as a group, and we're also extending that type of knowledge outwards to other regions, other continents, and other groups. And to speak about the Media Awareness and Justice Initiative, like I've mentioned before, we try to use technology. And as a group, we focus on certain thematic areas. We focus on gender rights, we focus on human rights, we focus on inclusive governance strategies, we focus on youth development, and we focus on community health. And by trying to reach out to these people, we try to use several methods. We use radio, we use social media, we use technology, which I've explained before, and we use videos. And because we're able to use these methods, we're able to engage more with lots of young people. Over the years, we have implemented several projects that are based on technology-based engagements. We've implemented projects that created offline GSM-based interactions that help to empower communities, that help to speak and allow communities have their voices heard. And because we are able to do that, people are now able to engage with democratic process. People are able to engage with key issues of environment. Nigeria as a country, it's a country where we have lots of issues around environment. We are a country very dependent on oil, and because of the extraction of oil, you have lots of pollution. And this pollution affects rural communities that are based in areas where they have low connectivity, they are very poor, and they are very dependent on the environment for sustenance. And by the pollution of the environment, there's loss of livelihood, there's loss of income, there's loss of environment, and there's loss of cultural background. And because people are very poor and they live in rural areas, it's very difficult to engage with key government organizations and key government institutions. Now, it's not that government is not trying to do something. The government of Nigeria in certain areas are trying to do something, but because of the huge nature of Nigeria, we are over 200 million in population, and reaching out to very key and far areas becomes challenging. So the question is, how can we bridge that gap? How can we create a bridge in such that communities are able to speak to their leaders or to the people in charge of or have the oversight functions in charge of their development? And how can we use these same channels to speak to those leaders to respond to the challenges that have been identified in the first place? And so we as an organization, we have been trying to do that. In 2011, we deployed 15 air quality monitors. And like I mentioned, environmental pollution. We also have the issues of air pollution. And taking a bit from what COVID-19 was, we understand that when COVID-19 and the pandemics first came to Nigeria, and when we first noticed the first outbreaks, nobody took it seriously. And that was because it's a virus. We can't see it. So people thought it might be any other thing other than COVID. But when people started seeing numbers, when people started seeing assessment of the issues and the different kind of rates of people being infected and people getting well, people started taking it very seriously. And we thought about the approach, and we started looking for ways to add numbers to air quality. How can people be able to understand what the level of their air quality is? If they can see numbers, they're able to speak to their leaders and say the air quality might be too bad. Hence, we need a reduction in the tools and the industries that create that air quality, that air pollution in the first place. And so this is how we have been engaging with several communities. We have also done videos, and these videos try to show the reality of people in our lives and livelihoods in Nigeria. If you go to the Media Awareness and Justice Initiative website, which is at MAJI Nigeria.org, MAJINIGERIA.org. It kind of explains a breakdown of who we are and what we do and how we have been engaging. And MAJI, which is the short form of our name, in Swahili, it means water. And water is something that is like Fela, which Fela used to be one of the very influential, and he also gave us inspiration for activists to do what they do today. He said, water no get enemy. It means water has no enemy. So if water has no enemy, it's a friend to all. Hence, we are supposed to be like water. We're supposed to flow and provide help, provide support, and provide opportunities for young people especially to build their development, to be part and parcel in their own development, and to ensure that by contributing to their development, they are able to provide the needed environment for national building. And by saying so, we are also able to export that knowledge to other countries and also import positive knowledge into our country, and by so doing develop the two nations. So my name is Okoro Onyekachi again, and I am very happy to be here. I'll be passing it back to Angel. Angel, thank you very much for the time given to me to share about my vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kaji, for the sharing. And now we heard from Peter and also Kaji. I found out about how we use technology to be invited, used to engage in our society. It's all about sharing information, giving access to critical resource, and promote their engagement. So there are a few questions I would like to address, and maybe we'll have a deeper discussion about this. So first is, how can digital technology be used to promote cross-border collaboration of global use within the trend of globalization? Like today, we have a cross-border discussion section. So from your personal overview or observation, so what's the thought of your own? Like, how can, maybe Peter first?
Okay. Well, from my own perspective, I think the collaboration of the youth actually was improved or maybe modernized by digital technologies in two aspects. First is about exchange of information. You can imagine that in the long time ago, when we want to send the email or when we want to send the pictures or videos, it really takes a lot of time for us to get access to the internet and transmit the message to send to another country or another continent. And maybe you actually have somebody which can overcome the threshold of technology. Like they need to know how to use the computer. They need to know how to download this kind of email address or how to apply these kind of things in their daily life. But however, right now, with a lot of digital platforms like social media or even messaging apps, we can actually exchange information in a very agile and very efficient way. We can exchange information in many forms, like videos, pictures, photos, whatever what we want, no, let alone the words or some very easy and simple things. We can transmit the files in a very fast and very efficient way with this kind of new stuff. So this actually can improve us about the efficiency to working us together, because if we have any problems, we can just dealing with that together with even like no delay like that. And the second thing is about the economy, because we know that the information technologies actually helps the globalization, and the globalization actually merge the economy together. So when we need economy like financial resources, we don't need to raise the money we don't need to raise the money that hard before with so many difficulties. Or maybe we can talk about the blockchain, the Bitcoins, the Ethereum. This kind of new stuff actually help us to avoid the very long procedures and very long process of transmitting the money, but we can also use the P2P process and get the money, get the financial resources very easily. So this is my own perspective.
Yep. Thank you, Peter. How about you, Kaji?
Thank you, Angel. For me, technology seems to be the best thing that happened to Nigeria. And it has helped to open borders and create bridge gaps. Nigeria is a big country. We have over 250 ethnic tribes. And due to the type of division in some areas, you have economic problems. And these problems affect young people a lot. But with technology opens doors. For example, technology creates the opportunities for people to become employed, and I mean self-employed. They are able to create their own economies. They're able to create their own businesses. They're able to break out of the poverty level and contribute to national building. And because you have low-cost gadgets nowadays, you have more young people being part of the entire technological bracket. You have young people contributing via social media pages. You have young people using tech, for example, messaging apps, mobile apps, finance apps, and then it has created what we call a local economy. Because of technology, you have people in rural areas are able to use technology to make income. And that for them creates a socially acceptable country where people feel that they are contributing to a particular economy and they are also receiving some kind of benefit from that economy. Secondly, technology has helped to create lots of awareness. If you understand, and I know, Peter, you have also mentioned this in your own presentation as well, misinformation is a big problem in Nigeria. And with misinformation, you need some level of awareness to be able to counter the type of misinformation that comes. And technology has bridged this gap. Technology has been able to make channels where content moving back and forth are able to be verified by young people. People are able to hear content from several sources. They're able to read information and news from very many sources. So they are not more or less doctored in a way. And they now are able to make up their own minds and create a truly democratic country. Technology has also provided us as CSOs in Nigeria the opportunity to achieve more. When we were before the 1999, before the advent of democracy in Nigeria, we had a military rule, and there was little you could say in national media. But today, technology has given us the opportunity to have free speech. We're able to speak, we're able to criticize, we're able to suggest, we're able to even mobilize. And that has given us a sense of belonging in a country of over 200 million people. It's very important for a tool like this as a unifying factor. We understand the challenges that technology creates, but the positives far outweigh the negatives. And with young people now, in a democratic setting, you now have young people wanting to be part and parcel of the democratic process. So for me, technology has been a very huge game changer. We can still improve a lot. There are much we can learn from Taiwan. There are much we can learn from other countries. And there are much we can learn from across borders. And we know that the more we learn, the better our economy will be, the more inclusive our democracy will be, and our young people can always achieve more using technology. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you. Wow, game changer. What a world of today. We can wrap this up.
Okay.
Yeah, we will have more questions to add. So yeah, we know there's an amazing example how technology can really promote the democratic of a country and how to promote youth to engage in their own society. So now we can see how convenient and how important technology is, but it has also increased the distance between individuals. So may I ask how you elevate this distance or establish a sense of belonging to a world's life? So maybe this time we can start from Kaji.
Okay, thank you, Angel. In the context of Nigeria like their social life. They, when they say the social life, not like we can do plenty of technology, but Nigerians like going out and meeting people. So for us, technology is more of meeting new people, sharing new ideas, creating new connections, and moving to new places in general. I personally, I was born in the southwestern region of Nigeria. I grew up there, and I came to the south region of Nigeria. Now, technology has created the basis for me to engage with this region, to build a life in this region, to work in this region. And it has not made me distant from my friends in Lagos or from my childhood friends. We still create time to meet each other. And while you have people here in Nigeria or here in Rivers State where I stay, you now are able to organize. So normally what would have come together to discuss and agree and go away again and come back after 2 days to agree, we do that on social media or do that on the messaging app. And then we decide on a particular day that we meet. I'll give you an example. Nigeria is approaching a current electoral year, sometime early in 2023. And we have 3 front runners running for the post of presidency. We have one of those presidential aspirants that are hugely supported by young people. And young people organized a 1 million man march in each city for this person. All the organizations were done using technology. But on the day of the march, I know I was standing at the junction and I was there for more than an hour waiting for people to just march past. This is how technology can mobilize each other. There was also a situation in 2020, very unfortunate, but it also was a turning point in the democratic process of Nigeria. Young people protested against the undue harassment of young people by security agencies. And we went out on the streets. We tried to speak to our leaders and tell them that there had to be some level of rights protection for young people in Nigeria. And this was all done with the mobilization of technology. So for us, technology doesn't create distancing. Technology only bonds us more, and it makes us, will I say, enter uncharted territories, if I use that word, because we are able to meet new people. We're able to connect. For example, without technology, I won't be speaking at the conference today. I'll need to have flown all the way to Taiwan to do this. But I'm here, and I'm actually speaking to a very long and very wide range of audiences, which for me, and I already have people who are from Nigeria who are looking at this as well and listening to me. And I'm very sure that after this session, I'll have like 1,000 phone calls. What? You are here doing this? And this is how you understand how it brings us together. And then you have people, come, let's go out, let's sit down. So what did you learn? This is what I learned. He goes back, he tells another group, another group, another group. And that progression of knowledge filters down across the different structures that we all belong to. So for me, I think it's more of a unifying factor than a divisive factor. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Kaji. I think that's a good reminder that technology is not a substitution of the in-person reaction, relation. It's like enhance and empowerment. So it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Peter?
Yeah, Kaji has actually covers a lot of things I want to mention, but it's okay. I can add on 3 things. So first of all, from my own perspective, I think technology actually enhance the use by 3 different parts. So first part is about their work, because we now know that there's new words called digital nomad, which means that they don't have to stay in one place to fit in one career, but they can just traveling everywhere and do the things on their laptop, just with their laptop and with Wi-Fi or with some internet access. They can do their job everywhere, and they can enjoy this kind of traveling in the process. And the second thing is that education, because originally the education was limited in the campus, limited in the schools, and the knowledge was being monopolized by teachers and lecturers and professors. But right now, with the internet, you can just get access to any language you want to have on the internet. And the third thing is about the daily life. Daily life, I can divide into 2 parts. The first part is that with technology, a large amount of information coming to us on a daily basis. So we need to filter this kind of information, or we'll be overloaded by this kind of information. And the second thing is that about the personal relationship. Just like my girlfriend is watching this live stream right now, and she is actually living in another city. So we are just like making our relationship in a long distance, and that is how technology realizes the things of love like that.
Great example. Yeah, it's another takeaway. This actually makes something difficult before that happen right now, and it's a daily basis. And also we have to filter the information we have every day, because there's a lot, and sometimes we will be overwhelmed by it. So we have to be smart, and we have to be aware of our self-awareness. So that's a good addition. And there's one last question I would like to address before we enter our next session of Q&A that I saw a lot of questions right now. So the last question I will have is, when communicating and collaborating through the digital platform, what the biggest challenge for your own organization, according to your experience and observation? Anything you can share with us, and maybe we can have some discussion about this. So who wanna be the first one?
I think I can take the first part of this part. So I think the biggest or the business obstacles that we have when we are using the digital platforms to collaborate with each other and communicating with each other is that because we are over relying on this kind of digital platforms, so we sometimes ignore the personal feelings of somebody, because when we are facing the screens, we have the tendencies to only focus on the contribution, focus on the to-do list, focusing on the action, or focusing on the words that haven't been finished before. But it is actually the face-to-face communication, face-to-face conversation that actually help us, bonding us together, having a sympathy to each other, experience others' emotions, and try to know how others' feeling is. So that is why, even though the digital platform or the digital tools is so convenient right now, the GovZero community still put much emphasis on the real events like GovZero hackathons or some other events happening like monthly or 2 months, every 2 months like that.
Cool. And Kaji, do you want to share something?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So, challenges and recommendations. That's how I put my own submission. Yep. Challenges for Nigeria. If you've read about the Nigerian people, we're very enterprising, and I must say, not that I'm blowing our trumpet, but we are very brilliant as well. Our problem for using technology is mainly the internet. We only have 51 to 55% spread of the internet. And we have many places where we have limited or no internet whatsoever. And you have young people who are willing to use tech-based tools, but no internet to be able to access those tools and make best use of them. That's one. Two is a lack of enabling environment. Young people need the adequate environment. When I mean environment, economic environment for them to achieve more and become part and parcel of their development. And because there's not enough economic environment and enabling environment for that to do that, it becomes a challenge. For instance, cryptocurrency is restricted for use in Nigeria. And if you ask me, I don't understand, I don't know how to put that. But imagine if we had a young economy that used cryptocurrency as a form of economic exchange. That in itself will create a whole new market itself, create a whole form of employment for young people, create a form of empowerment for those people, and give those young people the needed tools to contribute effectively to social justice without being biased in whatever way. So for us, that is a challenge. However, to create some kind of recommendation, Nigeria is not a wealthy country, although we are very wealthy, but we are also very poor. It's like a paradox of wealth for us. But we have to start creating innovative tools that bridge the gap of digital connectivity or technological connectivity. One of such examples is what the Media Awareness Justice Initiative, MAJI, is soon to be implemented. We call it community networks. Community networks are in a way, in another word, last mile connectivity or last mile networks. They provide alternative form of internet to people in areas with limited or no connectivity at all. So we'll create WISP devices, have young people connect to them at cheaper rates. So we create cheaper internet, enabling environments, and hopefully the government is able to open up the system for us to be able to have economic empowerment. So cheaper internet, enabling environment for young people, and increased economic opening to access the economic space will help to bridge and create that connectivity that we all desire. And then we can now start trying to bring in new technology. For example, we can have young people come to Taiwan, learn the different type of financial types of economic engagements, bring that back and adapt it within our context and create a whole different economy. These are the kind of things that we can do in exchange learning. So thank you, Angel, for giving me the opportunity to share that.
Yeah, thank you, Kaji and Peter. I think all you have mentioned, it's about balance. Like we have to aware about the gap of maybe the access of internet, the people, the economic gap, and also we have to balance when we do a lot of innovation, but is there anything left behind? We have to aware of that and do something for this kind of people. This is the awareness we have to keep in mind. And when we do some innovation, we have to also be care about people and care about the real world interaction. So thank you for your sharing. And now we have a long list of the questions. So first, let me address a lot of people asking about how to volunteer in your organization. So like if you recruit any volunteer, what kind of the skill you are looking for, what personality you are looking for. So maybe Peter can go first.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, there's no, we don't have any conditions or thresholds for anyone who want to join GovZero community because we are a community, and as I said, we welcome everyone from every professions to join us. And if you want to join us, you can just go to the GovZero website. If you search GovZero on Google, you can find our official website, and there's a link for you to join us on the Slack group. If you don't want to join the Slack group to join our discussion so fast, you can keep your attention on our social media platforms like the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All welcome you to follow them. Yeah, and if you are joining the Slack group, you don't need to be very nervous that you need to contribute yourself to one or more projects. You can just stay in the group to watch people discuss about social issues, to watch people raising their ideas and make requests to others. And you'll definitely find a chance to position yourself in one or more projects like that. So just do that. I would encourage you to just do that.
So just a very quick question. So if I don't have any tech skill, can I also join the Slack?
Oh, yeah. So for me, I'm actually a law student, right? You can imagine that there's a law student which have nothing to do with the computer science or don't know how to coding, to join this kind of groups that were full of geeks, full of computer professionals like that. But I'm still joining, and I'm actually acting as a coordinator and also like some project managers of the civic tech project. So I don't think that it will be a problem.
Great. That's a great information. So now, Kaji, it's your turn.
Just Peter had mentioned, for us, we have no specific skills. We are a group like MAJI is water, and water fills any container. So that's what we are. We try to accommodate everybody, and it's very easy to join us. We are on Twitter at Media MAJI, and you see that on Twitter. If you go to the MAJI website, MAJINigeria.org, and you click on contacts, you'll be able to send us an email. You'll be able to see our contact phone number, our page on Twitter, and even our address and Facebook address. And just to answer directly, we are not techie people. We use tech a lot, but we are just like Peter said, we are not geeks. We do lots of work that help to advance technology. And we work with very many platforms. And we understand the power of connectivity. We understand the power of collaboration. And even in our name, participatory, we understand the need for participation. And so we try to engage with people. We are very welcome to engage with anybody across the world. We know that as an organization, we are very donor dependent. So we know that people can also provide some level of tech support for us. For example, one of our projects, the SuitMap project, where we deployed air quality monitors, we received support, tech support, donation of 5 air quality monitors from the Open Culture Foundation in Taiwan. And they also provided technical training for some of us to also deploy that tech device in rural communities. These kind of collaborations are very helpful. We are also looking to have people on social media who are very good with sharing information. You can join us on Twitter. You can help us share our content and it can also help to share and put forth the message that we are trying to share globally. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you. So thank you for an amazing answer. I think a lot of people now have some hints to know how to join your community, how to join the organization, to be volunteered at. And there's too many questions. So I'm gonna pick some something maybe it's more practical. A lot of people mention about social anxiety, and also when we use the technology, it's very convenient. However, sometimes it also be a little harmful for our real life and our mental health. So as a worker who depends on technology so much in daily basis, maybe you have some tips for us to strike the balance between social media life and the real life. Also, maybe some tips for us to filter the information to not be overwhelmed to ourselves. So maybe Peter can share some tips, and then Kaji and can also share some insight from Nigeria's background. Yeah.
Okay. So before you indulge yourself into the metaverse, I believe that you will need to enrich yourself first in the real universe, which is about the reality. So my tips or my suggestions to everyone is that setting some time to limit your usage of cell phones and the laptops, these kind of things. I used to be very exhausted by this kind of information, no matter it's from the news, no matter it's from the working groups, no matter it's from the message apps like that. I used to be very exhausted. And why I can just get rid of this kind of disturbance of my real life is that I try to put more emphasis on my real life. Like now I go swimming like 3 times a week, and the other 4 days I go to gym. So I do exercise workouts on a daily basis, and this helped me to think about more things, to lead me into a more deeper thinking, more deeper brainstorming like that, so that I can bonding the ideas together and having more insights about my life. And the second thing I do is to writing a diary. I was writing a diary, but without internet access, so I don't want to. I will not be disturbed by the internet message or like that. So this is the things I want to do in my daily life, so that it helps me keep reflection, keep insights in my mind, and to block me from this kind of disturbance anymore.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. And how about Kaji?
Yes. How do I manage to fuse both lives, and what tips do I have? It's simple. Peter shares some kind of the same lifestyle like I do. Exercise is important. Imagine sitting down and slouching all the time. It doesn't do well for your body.
Yes.
It doesn't do well for your mental health. It doesn't do well for. So I play football. I actually would have loved to be a professional footballer. I actually played for one of our teams at a younger age, but I'm very, many factors play a role. But nowadays, I still go and play football a lot. I go to the market a lot, because in the markets you tend to feel the pulse of the people. I also find time from time to time to go to the rural areas and spend the nights in a cabin where maybe I have no light, no access to water, something that makes you understand the real life, just like Peter said, or the real existence of people. And when you now come and merge these two together, you are able to analyze, you are able to logically put forward theories that are able to fit in between people that have and people that don't have. And that helps me a lot. I go out in the evening sometimes, and you listen to the discussions, especially you go to, that's what we call in Nigeria, they call that, let me deviate a bit. They call that FRA. It's called Free Readers Association. So at some junctions, you have them selling newspapers. And these newspapers, people just gather around these newspapers. And sometimes they don't buy any of the newspapers. They just talk about the headlines. And you stand there, you have about 30 people gathered around one newspaper vendor store. And you see these discussions about political issues. This is not the issue. That is the issue. And you hear different analysis. You hear different types of people talking. And you are able to understand. You listen to this person's argument, listen to that person's argument. You understand they are also looking at the same problem from two different areas. And you're able to understand how misinformation plays a key role in dividing groups. And when you go back, you are able to have new ideas, fresh ideas, because you are exercised, you're refreshed, your mind is calm, your mind is refreshed, and you now have technology to help you. And just like Peter has said, not every day tech. Some days you go out into the real world. Like they say, go out and smell the roses sometimes. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Kaji. Okay, so now there's two takeaways. First is exercise. And the second is to make sure you listen to different opinion of same topic. Do not stay in your echo chamber. Maybe the echo chamber, it's always happen in our social media, but make sure you go outdoor and to listen another person actually speaking and have conversation with them. That will keep us mentally healthy and also physically healthy. So thank you for your share. So before we really wrap up today's event, would you like to add some words to all our audience? So maybe Kaji go first.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank the organizers of this very informative and interactive conference. I want to thank Angel. I want to thank Peter. I want to thank everybody listening. I want to thank technology as well, because without it, I won't be here. I'm very happy to be able to share this kind of experience. I'm very happy to also able to learn and hear from Peter and also hear the questions. For me, tech is a unifying factor. It might have its negatives, but its positives far outweigh its negatives. And the more we try to expand the positives will drown out the negatives. And that for me it's a strong point. Young people in Nigeria need tech. And as a country, as a young person in Nigeria as well, you see that we are going places with tech. We are expanding. We want to do more. And I want to, ask people who are listening to try to use tech more, to try to explore different methods to be able to create social justice, to be able to contribute to the environment, to be able to make a difficult world more easy and make all of us put smiles on people's faces. Because at the end of the day, all we have is people. We have no money. All we have is people. And once we have happy people, we have happy faces, and then we have a good world. Thank you again. And like we say in Nigeria, meaning thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kaji. We are also very happy to have you here. And now, Peter, do you want to add something and say something to our audience?
Okay, I think most people living in this era will have a kind of syndrome called FOMO, fear of missing out. But I want to quote a line from an advertisement several years ago, which is made by Kaneshiro Takeshi. It says, when the world goes faster, you have to get slower. So only with the serenity in your mind can you optimize the opportunity, the information provided by the digital life. And I wish you guys will have a refreshing afternoon and useful takeaways from this online lecture. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Peter. So before we end this section, I would like to add two more things. It's an advertisement now. So our next online section will be held in September 28th, and the time is 8 to 9 p.m. In Taiwanese time. So we will invite the Taiwan chapter of ISAC, the world's largest international NPO, independently operated by university students and youth between age 18 to 30. And the World Youth Alliance, the organization that focuses on international policy and human rights, economic development, and so on. We will have interesting discussion. So if you like today's event, we'll also don't want to miss the next one. And don't forget our main event, hold on October 21st, the Global Youth Trend Forum. We will have a lot of hotshot guests such as Minister of Digital Affairs, Audrey Tan, and ESSA Group founder Stan Shi, One Young World ambassador and FIRE founder Patrick Gary, and the founding president of Minerva University, Terry Connon. So there's a lot of fascinating panelists and also some discussions. So make sure you won't miss that. So, okay, so today's event, sorry we have a little bit delayed, but I think we enjoyed this conversation a lot. So we will see you till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.